Hey you guys, how's it going? Welcome back to my channel. And if you're hearing extra noise, it's just because outside we have a family getting construction done on their home and the workers are listening to music, so it's pretty loud. And so if you hear that and that interrupts this video, I'm really sorry. There's nowhere else in the house I can go right now that mutes that or limits it. So anyway, that being said, I really wanted to do this video for a long time, and this is just my way of giving you a blueprint of how you can make an extra $2,000 a month and how many listings you need, what your sell-through rate needs to be, average sale price, all of that. We're going to get into numbers in this video so I can show you what's possible, because I do get that question a lot, is how many listings you have to have active, how many sell, you know, it can be kind of confusing. So I'm going to lay it out for you totally straight, and hopefully provide some graphics here that will lay it out as well so you can visually see it. And just know that I'm not just pulling these numbers out of thin air. These are numbers that I have hard data from my own business in my spreadsheet, actual percentages, actual sell-through rates, actual dollar amounts, listing amounts, that kind of thing, to just share with you really what has worked for me and what should work for you if you kind of follow the same model. This is going to be aimed at someone who is maybe just beginning or not wanting to do this full time. I feel like I have a lot of fellow moms in the audience who don't have a ton of time right now if you have little kids. So this is geared more towards people who maybe want to do this 10, 15, max 20 hours a week. And if you're full-time and you want to do this more, you absolutely can. Just take my numbers, double them. Or if you want to do it less, take my numbers and half them. So anyway, let's kind of jump into it. If you have 400 items in your eBay inventory, okay, and your average sale price is around $30. For me right now, it's at $33. That's my average sale price. And of those 400 items at $30 a piece average, you sell 100 a month, which I think is totally doable. That's selling 25% of your inventory a month, which is really reasonable, I think. And in fact, I often do much more than that. So if you're selling 100 a month at $30 each, that's $3,000 a month on eBay alone, okay? So I sell mostly fashion. I sell a lot of random things here and there too, things I find at garage sales, yard sales. I sell shoes though, mostly clothing, shoes, and accessories. That's pretty much what I sell. And a lot of people say it's oversaturated. I really don't think it is. As long as you're finding what people want and the stuff that moves, you're gonna do just fine. If you're doing something like electronics, or video games or consoles, your sell-through rate might be even higher and your average sale price will be even higher. So I'm kind of just going off a baseline of what I'm currently doing, but you can adapt this to your circumstance and just kind of do the math for yourself. So that's $3,000 a month sold on eBay. And of my eBay sales, my total gross sales, in my spreadsheet, when I break down after fees, shipping, and cost of goods sold, I keep anywhere from 55 to 60% of that, mostly because I am buying things pretty cheap. I like to go to the bins, garage sales, thrift stores when they're having sales. If you're spending a little bit more on your inventory, you are going to probably not net as much. So I'm just kind of giving you an example. But when you're first starting, I would highly recommend going to places where you can get inventory as cheap as possible. The bins, Goodwill outlet is so great for that reason, because you're buying things for usually like $1 each by the pound, really cheap. And you can even have higher margins than I have with that, because I kind of do a mixture of wholesale, thrift stores, and bins, and garage sales. I kind of do a mixture of all of it. So let's be conservative and say you're only keeping 50% of your total gross sales. That's $1,500 a month right there. So if you have 400 listings and you can sell about 100 a month, that's about what you're going to net, is around $1,500, assuming your average sale price is $30, okay? And for me, my current average sale price is $33, so I'm sitting right about there. I actually net a lot more than that right now with 675 listings. I'm trying to get back up to 800. That was a really happy place for me. I have space, as you can see, there's like empty bins there. I have space for up to, I think, 1,200 listings in my current inventory system right now, but I don't know that I'm gonna get there anytime soon, at least not this summer, because summers, you know, I'm with my kids most of the time. So $1,500 net. Now you are going to be taking maybe some of that to respend on inventory or whatever. Don't forget taxes though. You will have to pay taxes on this. I always put away at least 25% towards taxes, so keep that in mind. But still, $1,500 for 400 listings, totally doable. Just know that it will take that time to build up those listings. I get questions a lot where people ask, well, I have 100 listings in my store. Well, you're probably not going to see daily sales with that, to be honest. You need to have a big nest egg of inventory for people to shop from before you start seeing the numbers you want to see. And let's say your sell-through rate is even less than that, you'll still be taking home $1,000 a month from eBay with those listings. And again, just increase your listings until you hit that income goal that you want. I get asked a lot how much time I spend on my business. I really don't spend that much time. Last week I spent 0 time and I had $1,000 in sales. So that just comes from building up a nice backlog of inventory that can continue to sell for people. But I honestly, in the throes of motherhood, I'm spending 10 to 12 hours a week on my business maximum. It really doesn't take that long to sort. When you know what you're doing and you're trying to like be efficient, it doesn't take that long to go source, photograph, ship. And I have a video all about how I photograph as quickly as possible in the cleanest way possible. Pretty pictures as fast as I can, that's my goal. So if you just list 10 items a day, 5 days a week, that's 200 items a month or more, which is really doable. And it's very easy to do one sourcing trip on a Saturday morning or while the kids are at preschool and get 50 items that you can sell. So definitely keep that in mind. These numbers are definitely possible on a limited schedule. And now let's move into Amazon. This is why I love Amazon so much, is because I can do it in conjunction with eBay. So let's say I'm going thrifting, or maybe I'm even doing retail arbitrage or whatever. I try to keep my Amazon profit margins at 100% ROI, meaning I'm buying something at $10 and hoping it sells at $30 relatively quickly. And that means I will keep $10 profit after that transaction. Amazon keeps 10, I spent 10, and then I keep 10 profit. Well, that's kind of the idea with Amazon for me. So I'm going to be using that model when I talk about Amazon numbers. But let's say you only have 100 items in your Amazon inventory, which is just, it can be normal if you're thrifting items and getting used electronics, used things, or if you can't go to the store that often to get retail arbitrage stuff. 100 items on Amazon can even make you really good money. There's people who have 100 items who are doing thousands upon thousands of dollars a month because they're either really hot items or they're replenishable or they sell quickly. So I'm just kind of using the thrift model when you're selling used video games, used consoles, things that I've talked about in my what sells on Amazon video, things I look for at garage sales. Those don't sell as fast in some cases as the retail arbitrage brand new in the box hot item stuff, but they still sell. So let's say you have 100 items in your Amazon inventory and they have decent ranks and they sell at 50% a month, meaning of those 100, you sell 50 a month as long as you're continuing to replenish your Amazon inventory and keep it at 100. And let's say conservatively, you have a $30 average sale price for those items. You'll be making $1,500 a month gross off of Amazon, and then you will net 500 of that because a third, again, like we talked about, a third will be paying you back for your inventory, a third will be going to Amazon about, and a third you will keep. And these are very conservative numbers. A lot of times you keep a lot more than that. I'm just trying to be as conservative as possible to cover all circumstances, okay? And even with Amazon, let's just be real, if you have a replenishable item that's only netting you like 10 to 20%, that's awesome. That's great because it's so much easier to source and ship things out when you're getting them wholesale. So that aside, that's $500 extra a month. So already we have $500 net profit coming from Amazon and $1,500 net profit coming from eBay. And you combine that and that's $2,000 a month for you. So totally doable, really not that crazy and hard. Once you get out there and you start trying to find what sells and you get a knack for it, you're gonna be able to find things really quickly and know what you're looking for, and it'll get better and better. Maybe starting out, the sourcing process will be slower. Starting out, the photographing and the listing process will be a little bit slower because you're new to it. Just like with any new skill, it takes time to get really fast at it and to hone it. So be aware that the first 2 months might not look like this, but I promise you, once you get to 400 items in your eBay inventory and you try to maintain that, and 100 items at least in your Amazon inventory and try to maintain that. And again, if you're full-time, double that. If you're very part-time, half that. But these are very doable numbers that will net you $2,000 a month. And you guys, when I was working full-time in my early 20s before I got married, at a school, I was getting my master's degree and I was working at a school with kids. I loved it, but I really wasn't making that much money. I think I made $700 every 2 weeks take home. And then that's $1,400 a month, which I'm making far more than that now part-time, just because I've taken the time to know what sells and I've grown my knowledge and I now have complete freedom over my time and my income. Like I said, with my kids, I can put them first. I don't have to call a boss and say, can I have time off? You know, I don't have to schedule a vacation with anybody. I just take it whenever I want. And for me, that kind of freedom means the world. So I just wanted to outline for you guys how that's possible. I hope this wasn't a fire hose of information shooting at you. I hope it was comprehensive enough to give you an understanding. Again, brief overview: if you have 400 items in your eBay inventory that sell on average for $30 each, and then you have 100 items in your Amazon inventory that sell on average for $30 each, and you make sure that they're items that people want, that sell through at a decent rate, $2,000 net is totally doable. So that being said, I just want to thank you guys for joining me today. Thank you for putting up with my very classy studio in my limited time. I appreciate every single one of you who subscribes and who is allowing me to work through this process of learning how to edit videos and make them as concise and good as possible for you guys. So thank you for your patience. If you have questions, comments, please leave them below. I will try to answer them on this video, especially since we're covering a big topic. But yeah, thanks so much for joining me, and I will catch you next time.